You are Locked On Lakers POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports Los Angeles, on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, game one is in the book. Luka sets the tone early. The Wolves outscored the Lakers by 18 in the second quarter. And who do we point the finger at for tonight's game one loss? We talk about it all on the Locked On Lakers POSTCAST. I'm Dave Palet. Again, you can catch this show and all the shows on Locked On anywhere you get your podcasts. And again, thank you for joining me tonight after the game. Disappointing loss. Wolves 117, Lakers 95. Game two will be on Tuesday. But a lot to talk about as this game did not go the way the Lakers and many Laker fans thought this game was going to go. So overall, very disappointing to see the way things worked out. But how did we get here? How did we get here when it looked like things were so promising in the first quarter? Well, we're going to start off with what everybody is talking about.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Here it is. It's the second quarter. I mean, the Lakers completely fell apart. And the Lakers didn't have an answer. And the way it worked out was if you're watching this game right from the beginning and you're excited and you're counting it down and saying the Lakers are going to make a run for an NBA championship, I don't want to miss 1 minute of this run. Well, the Lakers do great. First quarter, they outscored the Wolves 28-21. Luka has 16 of those 28 points, and we think we're rolling. But in the second quarter, it was where everything changed. Everything changed as the Wolves continued to shoot the lights out. Wolves, again, they go on a 14-2 run in the first 4 minutes of the second quarter to make the score 35-30. And all of a sudden, you're going, when are the Lakers going to stop the bleeding? And they couldn't. Wolves opened up a lead as big as 47-34. Naz Reid's corner three with 5:19 remaining kind of showed that the Wolves were going to own the entire quarter, and they did. They did a fantastic job. Again, the Wolves outscored the Lakers 38-20, and at the same time, that's where you sit there and say, we cannot wait for halftime to get here because there have to be some changes by J.J. Redick and his staff. And the Lakers go into the half and things aren't going the Lakers' way. And you're going, what are the Lakers going to do? Well, again, the Wolves have a halftime lead of 59-48. So what is the answer going to be? And the Lakers didn't really have an answer. And I'll tell you what the problem was. And this is where I'm going to start pointing fingers as far as where things went wrong for the Lakers. We've spoken about this in the past on shows, whereas Luka is a tremendous asset to have where he can score at will, and he's always the guy that sets the tone. One of the things we discussed about a month ago, would the Lakers be better off if they went about it the opposite way, where Luka was a guy who distributed the ball, got other guys involved, and then he took over when the opportunity was there, instead of Luka always getting out into that race of I'm going to score as many points as I can at the beginning, and wherever happens from there, we're going to be okay. The problem is we have guys that we now consider shooters on this team that become streaky, just like good shooters do. And for the first time in a long time, the Lakers have guys that can knock down three-pointers. And when you have a guy like even a LeBron James and Austin Reaves, any of these guys that usually hit threes at the beginning of a game, that they're doing nothing but standing around and watching. They're watching the Luka show. And so when it is their time and an opportunity to shoot, it seems like they don't have it. So not exactly pointing the finger at Luka, but at the same time, this doesn't seem to always work. And if you've ever been to a Laker game in person, you've seen how it works out. There are guys that are there extremely early, the guys that are constantly working on their shots from all over, guys that find their one spot on the court where they know this is my shot, my best chance of making a three-pointer, and they continue to work at it over and over and over. And then all of a sudden, they go into the locker room, introductions happen, and it's about 25 minutes after the national anthem before actual tip-off from the last time they shot a real basketball, not this layup line stuff. I'm talking about working on their game. And so the game starts, and it's Luka, let's go ahead and do your thing for the next 12 minutes while we stand around and run up and down the court. And then when you throw me the ball, I haven't shot a ball in a long time. I'm a shooter. I know when I feel good. Am I ready to go? I honestly believe the Lakers would be better off by going at it the other way. And the reason I say that is I've seen it work before. I've seen it work before with a Magic Johnson. I've seen it work before with a John Stockton. I've seen it work with point guards that are as dominating as Luka is, where they get their teammates involved and then they take over when it's time to take over. And in the long run, I think this actually helps Luka's career, because I think what it does is Luka takes a beating the entire game because so many teams either say one or two things. Either let Luka get his and let everyone else not get theirs, and we're going to win, because that's exactly kind of what Minnesota did today. Or you're going to go about it and saying, Luka's distributing the ball. Now we have to worry about 4 other guys on the floor because he's such a good passer. All of a sudden, Luka's body's not bruised and battered as much early on, and that he's able to finish the game strong, because we see where there are times where Luka has shots that you expect him to make and he doesn't. And you go, is that just because he's taking a beating? And we should be concerned about it, because Luka's a guy that's supposed to be the king of this franchise for at least the next 10 years. And how much of a beating can his body take against some of these guys? And so it becomes frustrating. Again, I'll get to your comments as well, but right now, just a ton of opinions on what is going on with this Laker team and how their approach was to Minnesota. So in the first quarter, just in case you weren't aware of how it worked out, look, Luka again was great, 16 points. LeBron and Austin Reaves did not score. They didn't score at all in the first quarter. So if we're talking about how the Lakers have a huge advantage because technically they have 3 all-stars who are starting, well, 2 of your 3 guys didn't score a point. So combined, those 3 guys, Luka, LeBron, Reaves, they had 16 points. Overall, it doesn't sound that impressive when you look at it that way. And then when you sit there and you go in the second quarter, how does it look for the Lakers? Are the Lakers doing enough to get other guys involved? Well, after 2 quarters, Luka had 20 points. I mean, he only scored 4 in the second quarter. LeBron scored actually 10 in the second quarter, and Austin Reaves only had 2. So one of your best players on your team, a guy that many people are arguing the most underrated player in all the NBA, only had 2 points. 2 points isn't acceptable for Jackson Hayes kind of stats. And so for the Lakers to sit there and say, we have a chance to win going about it this way, I mean, you could point the finger at a bunch. It honestly goes to JJ Redick in this situation. You have to sit there and understand what is going on. We'll get into the second half and how things actually went from bad to worse on how this worked out for the Lakers. But this was not good. This was not good overall at all for the Lakers, and it wasn't good for us because we lost home court advantage right from the beginning. They lost home court advantage, and overall, that's not what the Lakers wanted to do to start. And then, unfortunately, that's exactly what happened there. Things did not go the Lakers' way, and so very, very frustrating for us as Laker fans, and at the same time for us as Laker fans that hope that, hey, this is a team that can win a championship. Unfortunately, it wasn't our opportunity to do that today. So anyway, want to mention the people over at Upwork. Again, scaling your business requires the right expertise at the right time. With Upwork, you can find specialized freelancers in marketing, development, design, and more experts ready to help you take your business to the next level. Upwork gives businesses flexibility by connecting them with top freelance talent across multiple industries, including IT, AI, web development, and marketing. Whether you need extra hands for a project or a long-term partner, Upwork makes hiring simple and affordable. Look, if you're looking to find the right talent, if you need help with a marketing campaign, Upwork can connect you with a freelance expert who delivers incredible results. It's fast, it's easy hiring, posting a job is free, and it's simple. And with today, multiple qualified candidates to choose from. It's cost-effective as well. Instead of hiring full-time, Upwork can help you find affordable, top-tier freelancers to scale your business efficiently. Now, look, all you have to do is go to Upwork.com right now. Post your job for free. That's UPWORK.com, Upwork.com to connect with top talent and grow your business every day. At the same time, I want to mention the people over at Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in. Your personal CFO with your full visibility control over and over your finances, and everything is much easier. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, your investments, your spending in one place. So you stop just managing your money and you start building wealth. Surprising insights that you're going to learn from Monarch Money as well. You realize just about how much money you're spending on food delivery and how do you budget smarter and how do you save more. It's all in one place. It's very convenient. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch Money to check your finances, track spending, even plan long-term goals. And it's very easy as well. Managing your money with your partner is smoother than ever. You can track, share personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without all the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money today. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNBA for half off your first year. All right. So again, Lakers lose tonight, 117-95 to Minnesota. They're back in action on Tuesday. Again, I point the finger at JJ Redick and his staff. And if you listen to the announcers today and they say, what was the difference on why Minnesota was different after the first quarter? Because Minnesota all of a sudden was very aggressive and they shot the lights out. They said they were going to be the ones that we're going to go through our opponents. We're going to sit there and be the ones that are the aggressor. And the Lakers were stuck in a situation where they were stuck reacting. What could the Lakers have done different? I've pointed this out over and over again. And again, I'm not a basketball coach to say, hey, look, I'm a guy that should be, a guy they keep on speed dial. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm telling you is there's going to be a time when the Lakers are down and the Lakers need to find guys who are shooters and guys actually who can come off cold off the bench and shoot the lights out. That's why I said, do not give up on Dalton Knecht. But what do the Lakers do? They gave up on Dalton Knecht. I'm sorry. When you have LeBron and you have Austin Reaves that start off 0 for 5 and they can't make a shot, and I'm not saying you bench LeBron James for Dalton Knecht, but I'll tell you what, I don't have a problem taking Austin Reaves out for a guy that can knock down threes. You got to get back in this game. And when you're trailing by more than 20 points and you need 3-pointers in a hurry, you have a guy like Dalton Knecht who's sitting right there that's been shooting the lights out for the last 3 months, and he's not doing anything. Instead, Dalton Knecht becomes a guy that gets garbage time. Dalton Knecht tonight in 3 minutes scores 5 points. Guess what? He knocked down a 3-pointer. But he's a garbage guy, I guess. That's the way they're going to go about it. This did not work. You go back to the drawing board right now if you're JJ Redick and his staff, and you say, what is going on? Scott Brooks, what's going on? There has to be someone that can get in his ear to say this isn't working. Luka scoring 37 points is not going to be the answer if your team loses by 22. That's not the way it's supposed to go. Jackson Hayes, by the way, nice effort tonight. 1 point in 8 minutes as I'm sitting there just looking at this disappointing night. By the way, Minnesota's bench, absolutely outstanding. Complete team basketball. Minnesota's bench was ridiculous. Naz Reid comes off the bench with 23 points. Insane compared to the Laker bench, who basically played without a bench tonight. The Lakers bench was not impressive at all. The high point man for the Lakers was Dalton Knecht, as I just said. I just realized he was the high point man. In 3 minutes, he had 5 points. But Gabe Vincent, who played 25 minutes, only had 3. That's not going to work that way. If you're a Laker fan, you have to be extremely frustrating. And I'm not saying it's the end of the season, but man, all of a sudden you just gave home court advantage to Minnesota going into game 2. I understand the game's in LA. When you look at the numbers, home court advantage now stays with Minnesota until the Lakers beat Minnesota on their floor. Lakers have to come out as a different team. This was not acceptable basketball if you're a Laker fan, not if you're used to watching this franchise chase NBA titles. Looking at some of your comments, Craig, always good to see you, by the way, especially during playoff basketball. Man, you've been with me every single day. The Lakers didn't own the three-point line. They didn't guard the three-point line. Absolutely right. I can't say Luka's not in great shape. I think when we look at guys like that, you look at the Joker, you look at Luka, there are two guys right there that are really probably the two best players in the entire NBA overall. Yet nobody wants to have a body like those guys. Nobody wants to look like those guys. They aren't going to be in any body calendars. Very frustrating to see how this is going right now for the Lakers. It was a bad day for LA sports overall, right? We saw the Dodgers losing a walk-off home run, and then you think, well, at least my evening has to be a little bit better. I see Lakers in 6. Look, I still think the Lakers can win this series. I don't think that Minnesota comes out and they shoot the lights out consistently over and over again. But my opinion tonight is that the Lakers overall didn't make the adjustments they needed to. They gave up 11 straight points in the third quarter to Minnesota to basically stop nothing. So as bad as you got whipped in the second quarter by being outscored by 18, you come out in the third quarter and you give up the first 11 points, and really you're stuck chasing. You're just chasing. And I tell you, I tip my hat to LeBron James. LeBron James is a veteran who's been around for a long time, who's seen it all. LeBron James played extremely hard. He never gave up. I didn't see quitters out there, but at the same time, there are guys on that court that should not be touching the ball offensively. I'll be honest with you. If Jared Vanderbilt never shoots a basketball again, I'm fine with it. If Hachimura never shoots the ball again, I'll be fine with it. They have other guys on there that can shoot, guys that are expected to knock down shots. Look, Minnesota has a lot of weapons, but at the same time, I think the Lakers have bigger, better weapons. Minnesota gets the ball in the hands of guys that you expect to make baskets. Lakers seem to say we're going to share the ball with everybody, whether they're guys we depend on or not. Unless it's a layup, I don't need guys firing up threes and playoff basketball in situations like this, especially if you aren't going to do it on the other side of the court. So it's my frustration level is extremely high right now as I see the Lakers, who there's not one guy that had double-digit rebounds. There's not one guy had double-digit assists, and overall it was the Luka offensive show. So it becomes very frustrating. LeBron finished with 19. Basically, it's 19 in 3 quarters because he didn't score any in the first quarter. And for Austin Reaves, who finished with 16, those are 16 soft points. 16 soft points for Austin, who wasn't reliable the entire night. I'm sorry, Austin Reaves. You want to take this step to the next level, and it's just like this in every other sport where the game kind of speeds up and is a little bit tougher. It's like this in the NFL where there's preseason football, there's regular season football, and then there's playoff football. Basketball works the same way. There's playoff basketball. Postseason basketball is different, and you got to raise your game. And a lot of guys on this team need to raise their game. This was an extremely disappointing, hopefully eye-opener loss. Look, I'm going to take you back to give you a little bit of hope here, by the way, on why it's not a complete disaster for the Lakers. If you go all the way back to, if you guys, it seems like yesterday for me, but if you go all the way back to 2001, when the Lakers faced Allen Iverson and the 76ers, the famous clip of Allen Iverson stepping over Tyronn Lue. I was at that game, and I couldn't believe the Lakers lost. But what did the Lakers do? They rebounded, they made adjustments, and they were able to win 4 straight, and they won another title. And the Lakers can do the same thing in this. They can go on a tremendous run. At the same time, if they don't make adjustments, they can lose very quickly, and then talk about how are the Lakers out in the first round. And then everybody starts questioning the Lakers. The Lakers become the talk. Even though the Lakers wouldn't be in the postseason, they still become the talk of the NBA because, again, it is the Lakers. And the Lakers have the best chance of beating Oklahoma City. Everybody knows it. This Laker team is what's best for the NBA to continue to advance, for the ratings, for the fan base across the country, that obviously there are Laker fans everywhere. This is not acceptable basketball. And we need JJ Redick to grow up in a hurry as a head coach and make some major adjustments. The reason we weren't freaking out in 2001 is we had Phil Jackson, who had seen it all and was a Hall of Famer. JJ Redick in his first year, man, he has a couple days to figure this thing out. I'm glad they aren't coming back and playing on Monday. I'm glad they get that extra day to put something together. But there shouldn't be one guy in that Laker locker room that shouldn't be embarrassed right now. And unfortunately, I'm embarrassed as a Laker fan the way it went as well. So let's get to our player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
The game. Again, I hate giving it to somebody on the other side. I'm not going to give it to a Laker guy. Laker player doesn't deserve it. Now, look, you can go in a bunch of different directions on this one. Jaden McDaniels was outstanding for Minnesota. He had 25 points. Anthony Edwards, you can make an argument he could be the Locked On Player of the Game because in the third quarter, he left with cramps, came back in the fourth quarter, talked that he might not even play. Well, the second he came in, he made a difference right when the Lakers are making a serious run. I mean, serious run where you believed, like I believed, this is where the Lakers come back and win this game. Anthony Edwards silenced that. He played outstanding basketball, and he's trying to make a name for himself, meaning a legacy name, a memory that we're going to go on forever and go. Remember, this is where Anthony Edwards became a star of the 2025 playoffs. He knows this is where his career changes, is in this series. Anthony Edwards is doing everything he can to outshine LeBron and Luka and everybody else. Even though he only played in 35 minutes, he had 22 points, but he's not my guy. It's Naz Reid. Naz Reid coming off the bench for 23 points was absolutely ridiculous tonight for Minnesota. Good for him. Naz Reid in 31 minutes, who was 8 of 12 from the floor, 6 of 9 3-point shots, and 23 points off the bench. Absolutely incredible night for him. So he is the Locked On Player of the Game. We're going to be back on Tuesday. Again, final score tonight, 117-95. Minnesota. Lakers now down 1-0 in the series. Lakers hopefully trying to even this thing out on Tuesday. If they don't, this season could very well be over for the Lakers. But we're going to be back on Tuesday talking about it as well. Appreciate everyone who joined me tonight. Hope you guys have a great holiday weekend, and we will see you Tuesday, hopefully after a big Laker win, and we feel a lot better about ourselves. Have a great night, everybody.